On the edge of Euro society, there was once a small household that consisted of a swordswoman and her daughter. The swordswoman often wore a traditional pink kimono with floral designs that often had its sides covered by her raven black hair. Her hazel eyes always sharpened and alert. The daughter wore a blue kimono to match the everlasting frost flower that was set on her midnight blue hair. She often had a look of curiosity in her bright blue eyes and trained with her kendo stick diligently whenever she was told to, never letting it go, never letting it out of her sight. Her father was in this picture, but only visited her a handful of times. He bore hair white as snow and had faded blue eyes that seemed to have dulled. She never knew why he needed to go, but tried her best to just enjoy the small moments they had. He would often bring her books he had written while he was wherever he was when he left months at a time. Even without his presence, the two lived in relative peace, having a simple schedule that was kept for as long as the daughter could remember. They would wake, train, cook, eat, and have a few hours of free time. The mother would use this time to train further or go to a private study. The daughter was allowed to use this time however she wanted, but had one rule she had to follow. Don't go past the fence. This schedule was followed for the day of wind, day of fire, day of water, and day of earth. But every fifth day, known as the day of rest, at the end of the given month when the mother would need to leave her household to get supplies in a nearby town, the daughter was left alone to relax for the day. By the age of 5, the daughter grew mischievous and would use the free time to explore the fenced area and dream of one day seeing behind it. She wouldn't dare try leaving under the watchful eye of her mother's gaze, but the daughter was far too curious. She was chasing a bunny that had wandered into the fenced area while her mother was away and found a hole the bunny had used to cross through. Seeing this as an opportunity, she couldn't help but go through herself. She barely fit through, but managed to get past the fence. She looked back and noticed several strange markings on the opposite side of the fence. They shimmered, but appeared dull. While interesting, she had something more pressing on her mind. She wanted to explore. Scared but bold, she took in her unknown surroundings, hearing sounds that would terrify most, and decided to move deeper into the forest. As she moved, she would mark the trees using her training sword as to not lose her way. The mark she created for herself, a completely unique one, in order to not be confused with claw marks that had been seen on a few of these other ones. She explored for hours before deciding to turn back, but the second sun slowly went down as the noises around her grew, and the light to see the markings fade away. She walked as the noises grew and grew until she saw a glint of light ahead of her. But just before she could figure out what it was, a creature suddenly jumped at her from the darkness. The daughter jumped out of harm's way, just barely being missed by the purple creature's claws. In front of her was a wolf-like creature that smelled of death, its black teeth and claws glistening with the moonlight. Its orange eyes glowed with the intent to kill. The daughter felt her heart pump and prepared her training sword. She braced as the creature pounced at her, mouth open as if wanting to swallow her whole. Her training blade found its way inside of the creature's maw, but her body was thrown back with the force of the pounce that which hit her against the tree. The creature attempted to bite down on her, but the force of its bite only managed to have the sword crack and pierce it internally, ultimately killing it. The daughter, though, had suffered from the bottom teeth cutting into her arms that so strongly held onto the now broken training sword. That was when she noticed the light getting brighter and brighter, yet blurrier and blurrier. She heard an unfamiliar voice.
Oh dear.
Before everything went dark